It's time for bookkeeping, beer, and BS. All right, final question. We're going back to the Christmas theme here, our third Christmas theme question. We're back to operations and equipment.
Can we all answer? Or are we out of it?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Operations and equipment. How far does Santa travel to visit every child? I've got this answer in kilometers. And it's multiple choice. I went kilometers with it. That was the first answer I found. I found competing things, so I'm just going with this source, but I'll elaborate. How far does Santa travel to visit every child? Is it 100 million kilometers, 130 million kilometers, 160 million kilometers, or 200 million kilometers?
How many kilometers are in a mile?
It's like there's about it's kind of like a 2x thing, like 2 times, roughly kilometers per 2 kilometers in a mile.
2 kilometers in a mile. And then what were the options?
That's a super.
Not that I know this, but I need to have an educated guess. What were the options?
100 million.
It's the other way around because a 5K is 10
so
miles.
It's like 2 kilometers in a mile, roughly. Like a 5K is 3.1 miles or whatever. So it's not perfect at all. It's yeah.
It's 0.62.
I know the answer.
No, it'd be the other way around.
That will be the other way around.
Miles.
Yeah.
So
the options again?
Kilometers per mile. Options are 100 million kilometers, 130 million kilometers, 160 million kilometers, or 200 million kilometers.
Okay.
I know the answer. Can I help one of them?
I mean, I feel like it'd be pretty hard to help one of them without helping everybody. I don't know.
I feel like I'm just straight guessing, so let's go for it.
I mean, I don't know another way to do this question. I don't think anybody's gonna do.
He asked one of us to turn around. That might give a hint.
Just for fun.
Dan, wait, I got a hint for you. Dan, read the answers again.
Oh, stop it. Do the answer.
We got 100 million kilometers. We got 130 million kilometers. We got 160 million kilometers. Then we got 200 million kilometers. Did I give a hint at some point?
Yeah, you did.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if you're reading into something correct or if you're just thinking I gave it.
I know the answer by the way you read the answers.
What's going to be really interesting is if you got it wrong.
Right.
All right. Well, we'll find out.
All right, let's go.
Let's find out. What do you guys got? Sean says 160. Yeah. Darren says 160. Corey says 160. Angela says 200. Exodus says 160. Jai, did you have one? You got one over there?
I had 130.
You had 130. The correct answer is 160.
What the?
Darren, I'm curious. I'm curious where you thought the answer was.
I've been monitoring you with your multiple choice, and I figured out you have a tell.
Cool.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So
Good on you.
I have a question. I guessed C because that's what I guess on answers when I have no damn idea.
That's smart.
How did everybody else know it was 160?
Yeah.
I just guessed.
That's crazy.
So, Angela, you had 162, right?
No, I had 200. I just thought it was a lot.
Well, my first one, my first.
You have 160?
Yeah, I had 160.
Okay.
My first answer was far and wide, so I didn't know it was a multiple question.
I just kind of wonder if like Sean and Hecubus, did you feel like you had a read on 160 by the way I asked the question, or were you just like flat out guessing?
I was just flat out guessing.
But I just kind of wonder if Darren's onto something that like Sean and Hecubus like guessed that, but for a reason, right? They maybe guessed it. Maybe I do have a tell.
We can study for the next trivia.
I'm
gonna have to go back.
Nervous.
I don't think
the first two you were looking up, and then the last two you were kind of looking down. So I wasn't sure.
You can tell that
I do have
King
the
Darren
up here, so I was literally like looking up here to read them.
Right.
And then once I knew all that,
you emphasized 160 when you said it, and
yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah, that's the same thing the same reason I picked that instead of 130. I was going to go 130 because you paused but then you emphasized 160.
Except, to be clear, I honestly think Dan emphasizes the third option all the time because he's like, is it A? Is it B? Is it C? Or is it D? Like, I feel
I agree.
That's the way I read it
That one
every
was a
time.
little more of a. It seemed like it was just a little more of an emphasized on that particular one.
I noticed that I paused before I read the 200 million because it's like my text wraps, like I have it written out on a Word document on my screen. And so I was like, where am I? Oh, 200 million is the last option. So I was like, oh, people are going to know it's not 200 million because I like had to pause to be like, what's that option? So here's where I got the 160 from. Now, I also read another thing that like it was a totally different number, like twice as many miles as that. This was by Purdue University, said Santa would have to travel that far, basically visiting 200 million children, 800 million homes spread out over a mathematical formula of land. And now that was like their math. Somebody else had said, this is just a highlight here, to cover all the distance in 24 hours on Christmas, which is kind of funny. It's like he doesn't cover all the hours on Christmas. It's not 24 hours. He's got to cover it in like 12 hours, right? Like basically from dark on Christmas Eve, we got like 6 hours, maybe, of like.
Well, no, time zones gives them more time, not less time.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Well, in that case, yeah. But in that case, like it's really 1 hour he needs.
Does that include where I'm at?
I assume, okay. Right? Like then he's just staying like right on midnight as he goes around. So it's 24 hours to him, but it's like 0 hours of time on the clock as long as he's staying like opposite of the sun. And then at one point he like warps a day. He like crosses whatever that line is where it's like tomorrow.
Well, no, the data that you were giving on that was for just the United States, though.
No,
because you said 200 million children, 8 million homes, right?
800 million homes.
Oh, I thought you said 8 million homes.
800.
I thought I heard you say 200 million children and 8 million, 200 million homes, whatever. So I was.
Well, you're assuming. I think he's assuming like how many Christian children are out there out of like the world, right? Because like India, they're Hindu, right? So I don't think they're doing Christmas stuff. So it's not like all the kids in the world, but it's all the Christian kids in the world or whatever that is. So the data was 200 million children.
I was just curious about that part.
But the funny thing is like, yeah, it's 800 million homes, 200 million children. Like that's not right. The average home has 2.7 kids. So I don't know where they're getting this data. I don't know.
Okay. How can you paint the 0.7?
What's that?
How do you measure the 0.7 out of 2 children or 3 children, right?
Like, yeah. Well, some people have to get rid of their kid off and just discard it, right?
Yeah.
Born without an arm. I don't know. But another piece of research said to travel that distance in 24 hours, which, even though he's time traveling, but to him it's still 24 hours. The sleigh would need to travel at about 5 million miles per hour. So now
spirit, man.
That's a lot of Christmas spirit. Now the scientist that was doing the math said that's possible because the sleigh would travel. Let's see. The sleigh would have to travel 130 times more slowly than the speed of light, which is 300 million meters per second, or about 700 million miles per hour. Since something already moves that quickly, it'd be difficult but not impossible for Santa to travel at 5 million miles per hour. That was his logic.
And he's not even taking in Christmas magic, which helps run the sleigh.
Right. Yeah.
You mean the Christmas spirit?
No, I meant Christmas magic, Dan.
I'm pretty sure
Christmas magic.
In Christmas time, it's called spirit. It's not magic. We're not a bunch of damn magicians around here. It's freaking Santa Claus we're talking about. Hey, what's up, business nerd? Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you learned a heck of a lot watching that episode. Do me a favor, subscribe right down here. And if you really like what you saw, you got more goods right here. Check out this one or check out this one and do this. Go subscribe. Appreciate you. Work smarter, work harder, go earn yourself some pride. Catch you on the next one.